It's over 9,000!
Welcome, Super Elite Warriors, to Final Forum, a podcast for the discussion of all things Dragon Ball. I am your host, Jelli, an elite recruiting member of the Frieza Force on a mission to find the best warriors from across the galaxy to join the greatest army of all time, and I am joined, as always, by my new recruit co-host.
This is the Bekinney.
This is the second episode of our Tenkaichi tournament for March Madness. I would encourage you to listen to the first episode if you have not. Go back, it's our previous episode in your feed. Please listen to that one because we are going to... This was recorded all in one shot, so we are going to do a poor job of reminding you what happened previously because we just recorded this all at once and we're breaking it up over 2 episodes to make it a little bit more manageable for everyone to listen to. So please, if you have not already, go back and listen to the previous one. And if you're all caught up, let's get going and start picking some more tournament entries. We are now gonna swing back around. I go first, right? Because you went first in the
yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how we do it.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna go back over to the human bracket, and so we've got Yajirobe versus Bulma, Ox King versus Mr. Satan, Chi-Chi versus Tien, and Videl versus Roshi. And this is Yajirobe versus Bulma in Battle Dungeness Crab.
Oh.
So, who do I want to win? There's part of me that says it'd be really funny if Yajirobe won. He is the ultimate cockroach, right?
True.
Sticking it out. So, I'm going to say Yajirobe I want to win. Who would win? Tough. As we talked about, Bulma, just because she knows what good food tastes like and has been around it a lot doesn't mean she's a good cook. And we've talked about how Yajirobe has made food for other people that they've liked. So I think Yajirobe wins on taste. I think Bulma wins on plating. Does she then win on creativity because she's a genius?
It's a tough call.
Yes. So now I'm tied. I have to go to the palette. And, oh boy. Yeah, I think Bulma's got it on the palette.
Bulma's got the palate. All right, she moves on to the next round.
I just talked myself out of my own pick.
I know, same here. All right, next match, we've got Ox King versus Mr. Satan. Yeah, this one's pretty one-sided in my opinion. I think Mr. Satan takes this one pretty easily, and I want him to win anyway, so yeah, he takes it.
Bam, done.
We're flying through these ones.
Oh, well, because now we're gonna fly. That was Battle Eggs, by the way. And now we've got Battle Puff Pastry, and we've got Chi-Chi versus Tien. This is the ultimate shellacking. This is the least close battle maybe we've had this entire tournament. Chi-Chi absolutely curb stomps Tien, especially in Puff Pastry. Are you kidding me?
You called this a shellacking. I think it's mostly a he lacking.
That's terrible.
I know.
But so yes, Chi-Chi moves on.
Yeah, I figured as much. All right, that brings us to
Battle,
Videl versus.
battle,
Sorry, go ahead.
battle, Fennel.
Ooh, Battle Fennel. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. In this one, we have Videl versus Master Roshi. Who do I want to win? Hmm. So that's a tough call because Videl is a nice person, but Master Roshi is like, it would be funny if he keeps winning because it shouldn't make any sense. As for who would actually win, I think Videl wins in taste and plating. As far as creativity, ooh, that one's a toss-up for me anyway.
I can see that.
Because while Roshi is creative in a lot of ways, I don't know that he'd necessarily be as creative as Videl when it comes to cooking. Because again, like I would imagine cooking for Saiyans is like a lot about like volume and variation to make sure they hit all their macros. So I'm gonna say Videl just like beats him out in creativity, but at the same time, Roshi doesn't really mind because, well, he's a pervert and he's probably going to spend all of his time ogling her anyway.
That's a good point.
So Videl takes that one.
Okay. And then we're up over to the antagonists bracket.
Yes, the antagonists. All right, so for this one, we're down to Frieza versus Hit.
Battle
Zamasu versus Pilaf. So I'm just going through these real quick so everyone's on the same page. Captain Ginyu versus Majin Buu, and Dr. Gero versus Cell. So what's our first ingredient?
You've got Battle Tofu.
Ooh, Battle Tofu with Frieza and Hit. Who do I want to win? Well, clearly, I want our glorious Overlord Master Frieza to win. Who would win? I think they're about even on taste because I think they both don't really have a great understanding of what the human palate would like. Plating, I would give the edge to Frieza. I feel like he's got just a little bit more sophistication. When it comes to creativity, I think I'd also tip it to Frieza. Yeah, it looks like Frieza sweeps it.
Okay.
And I talked myself out of my own pick.
Were you, I'm just guessing, when you were like zipping through and picking this in 5 minutes, you were like, oh, he's going to like use his time manipulation to win.
Yeah, that's what I initially thought. But then I was like, but that's not really going to help him with like creativity or like aesthetics, you know?
No, the only thing it could help him do would be like sabotage the other person. But I think
it'd make him the ideal employee for McDonald's, though.
I think Hit has a code of honor that would go above sabotaging someone else.
Yeah, I could see that.
As opposed to like what I did with Captain Ginyu.
But that's on brand for Captain Ginyu. You know?
Exactly.
He does what he needs to do to win.
Okay, I have Wild Boar. And I have number 5 Zamasu versus number 13 Pilaf. So who do I want to win? I want Pilaf. Who would win? I think Zamasu wins in plating. Like we said, beauty and knowing what goes where and everything on a plate. I think he wins in taste. I think we talked about he spends like an entire episode making tea. He's understanding of flavors. Although we did hear that like his negative attitude sometimes can impact his flavors, but I think Pilaf would have too much of a haughtiness of like, what, you don't like that? This is how it's perfect, right? So I think Zamasu wins on flavor. On creativity, I think I'll tip it back over to Pilaf. So I have to go over to my tiebreaker and go to palate. And this is where I think Zamasu wins.
Yeah, I'd have to agree.
On a more refined palate, a more
It's tough to compete with the literal divine palate of a god.
Yes. Okay. You've got Battle Honey.
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 And I've got Captain Ginyu versus Majin Buu. Well, I want Majin Buu to win this. He's a great villain, great ally, love him to death, a lot of fun character. Who would win? I think, especially because it's sweet stuff, I think taste is definitely going to go to Majin Buu. For plating, plating could be a toss-up, so I'd have to go to creativity, which I think we'd have to tip to Captain Ginyu. So yeah, it's going to come down to that plating. Yeah, Boo doesn't really get caught up on aesthetics at all, but Ginyu definitely does. So I think I'd have to give plating to Ginyu as well, which means the tiebreaker. And for this one, I think that tiebreaker is going to shift it to Majin Buu.
Okay. And then I have number 10, Dr. Giro versus number 2, Cell, his creation, in Battle Venison. And I'm just going to say slam dunk Cell. Like across the entire board, all 4 things.
Yeah, I could see that.
So then that brings us down to the deities
allies, yes.
/ allies bracket, and we've got Beerus versus Corrin, Elder Kai versus King Kai, Kibito versus Puar, and Kami versus Jocko. And I am going first with Lord Beerus versus Master Corrin in Battle Chickpeas. Who do I want?
Hummus.
Who do I want to win? I want Beerus. Who do I think would win? I think Beerus definitely is going to take the plating. And I think he's going to take the creativity also. Because I think he's going to just have a... He is, despite being an all-powerful god of destruction, he's a fairly outside-the-box thinker. He's, you get that... He's trying to constantly dangle a carrot in front of Goku, right? With the whole... With, what's his name? The guy that they pretend is Monaka. With Monaka stronger than you, right? And then even in that, now Goku tries to trick Monaka into having a one-on-one fight with him, and in one of the better comedic beats of Super, Beerus puts on the Monaka costume and fights Goku. So I think I'll give it to him on the creativity, which means it kind of doesn't matter who wins on the taste. I move Beerus on to the next round.
Nice. All right. Next up is Elder Kai versus King Kai. What are they working with?
They are battling in Battle Cranberries.
Cranberries. Oh. Where's Chaozu when you need him? So my thing with this one is they're both Kais, so Divine Palette kind of cancels each other out. So I kind of just have to go with who we see maybe cooking a bit more, and that's definitely King Kai. So I think he's going to win on taste. Plating, probably also going to be King Kai, just because he's actually served food to people, so he has at least some concept of it. And then I feel like they're about even on creativity, both being, gods, both being around for inordinate amounts of time, experiencing so many different things. And then as far as who would I want to win, I want King Kai to win. Love King Kai.
Okay.
So King Kai's moving on.
Okay. All right, and then I have Battle Ostrich, which was unaware you could eat ostriches personally.
Oh yeah, there's like farms for them and stuff.
Oh, yeah, I thought it was like for their eggs.
I mean, I could see why you would think that. Yeah.
But
massive ostrich eggs, those have got to be good for something.
Yeah, people eat them, I think.
I don't see why they wouldn't.
But anyways, I've got Kibito number 11, versus Puar, number 14. Who do I want to win? I think I would prefer if Puar won, though neither one really my favorite character. Who would win? I think Kibito's going to win on plating. He's from the land of the Kais. He's more understanding of plate composition, that kind of thing, so he'll win that. He might also win on creativity. No. talking myself out of it here. He is not going to win on creativity because he is very set in his ways. He has this whole thing where he doesn't want Goku or Gohan to be on the Kai planet. He thinks that Gohan shouldn't even be allowed to touch the Z sword or the Zeta sword, however you prefer to call that. Puar, meanwhile, is the shapeshifter, and we talked about like he is more willing
He's
to
got
use
those perfect transformations.
Yes. So now I'm moving over to Puar on that, and then I think Puar might also win on flavor. Puar's been around Yamcha. I think Puar cooks for Yamcha.
I think you're right. I think that's mentioned a couple of times.
So I'm actually moving Puar on, despite what I initially picked. I initially picked Kibito when I hadn't thought about this for more than a couple seconds, just because I was like, well, he's like Supreme Kai's like vassal, which means he probably cooks for Supreme Kai.
Yeah.
I put literally that much thought into it and was like, okay, then he'll move on.
I put that exact same thought into it.
But I talked myself out of it.
Well, you ruined both of our brackets then. Way to go. Last battle on this quadrant, we've got number 7 Kami versus number 15 Jocko. What are they working with?
This is Battle Citrus Fruit.
Battle Citrus Fruit. Okay. No, this might actually work in Kami's favor, since he's basically like an orange tree. And Jocko wouldn't even know what an orange is necessarily. Well, no, that's not true because he spent time on Earth.
Yeah.
Oh, so we've got two beings that are essentially alien to the ways of Earth. But as far as I understand, Jocko's had more experience with what Earth has to offer. Now, who do I want to win? I want Kami to win. To me, Jocko is just kind of like a gag character, like a fun character, but like Kami's got a little bit more pathos with his appearances, I guess you'd say. Yeah, this is going to be a tough one. I think Jocko wins on taste just because he's actually eaten food. Plating, I would say, goes to Kami because, I mean, let's be real, like his lookout's pretty awesome. It's well designed. I really like it. I like his aesthetic. I think he would come up with something very pleasing to look at.
Mm-hmm.
As far as creativity, I'd like to say Kami because he's been around longer, but most of Kami's experience is pretty much just his lookout and Earth, whereas Jocko's been all over the place, seen a ton of different stuff, so he's got way more things to pull from. So I think he wins on creativity. So then it comes down to palette, and the Namekian curse gives us yet another loss, and we're going to have to move Jocko on.
Okay. Moving over to the Saiyan bracket.
Yeah, am I going first this time?
Yes.
All right, so for who we have as winners in the bracket so far, we have Tarble versus Kale. We have Kid Trunks versus Goten. We have Kaba versus Gohan. Caulifla versus Vegeta. So I will take the first match, Tarble versus Kale, and what is their ingredient?
Beets.
Beets? Hey DJ, give me some fat beets to beat my friend's ass to.
This is
this is terrible.
Such a hard ingredient, and
yeah,
and two aliens.
Who do I want to win? I don't even really care at this point. I think Tarble beats out Kale in taste and plating. I think Kale takes creativity. So it's essentially a tie across the board. So who do I think has the more refined palate? I think Tarble's got the more refined palate. So I think Tarble moves on after an absolutely terrible performance.
All right, I have in Battle Peanuts, Kid Trunks versus Goten. Who do I want to win? Yikes. I'm not super fond of either of these characters. I will say, I guess I'll say I'm slightly leaning towards Goten because a lot of the problems that Gotenks causes are from the Trunks side of that mentality.
Particular combination.
Yes. He's like the one who's like, "Oh, we should toy with him for a long time." Like that's his idea. So,
son of a genius, just want to point that out real quick.
Yeah. So, but who would win? This is where I get into, I think Trunks kind of wins across the board on who would win. Maybe not on flavor, but I think for sure in creativity and plating. I just think he's more locked in. You know, he's less scatterbrained than Goten. Goten is a little more.
Well, I think he's also probably a little bit more worldly too, because living with Bulma as your mom versus Chi-Chi as your mom, and he probably gets around a little bit more.
That's where then I have to move Trunks on also, because if you get down to your tiebreaker, Trunks is more worldly. He's got a better developed palate. Trunks moves on. Kid Trunks specifically.
All right. Next up, we have Kaba versus Gohan. What are they working with?
This is Battle Mango.
Battle Mango. Okay. Who do I want to win? I want Gohan to win. I mean, just Kaba's just kind of blah for me. Doesn't really stand out all that much. As for who would win, I think, again, Gohan's education and experience wins him at least taste, probably plating as well. And creativity, I think Gohan also wins because, I mean, at least Gohan could reach Super Saiyan fairly early on in his life. Kaba literally had to be emotionally abused into it. Yeah, I think Gohan wins this one across the board.
Okay. And then I've got Caulifla versus Vegeta in Battle Goat, which is apropos because Vegeta is the goat. And I want him to win. I think he personally wins across the board. I think this is another relatively easy one. Vegeta in a bit of a landslide. Maybe he doesn't win on maybe taste, but he wins on the others, so it's Vegeta.
All right. Back to the human bracket this time?
Back to the human bracket.
All right. We've got, for our, what is this, quarterfinals, semifinals?
It's the quarterfinals. It's the...
Yes.
It's the Sweet 16. This is the Sweet 16.
Oh, all right. Sweet 16. So for our winner so far, we have Bulma versus Mr. Satan, and we have Yamcha. No, wait, not Yamcha. Chi-Chi. What am I thinking about? Chi-Chi versus Videl. Oh, ooh. That second one's not great for Gohan. Not sure who he's going to cheer for there.
He's getting cheered and not have a rolling pin thrown at him.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so between Bulma and Mr. Satan, see this is a what's their ingredient?
Battle garlic.
Oh, interesting. Okay. See, I think this is a good matchup because now means are kind of equal. So Bulma's got less of an edge based on her worldly experience. So now it comes down to, I think, actual cooking ability. I think it goes without saying I want Mr. Satan to win this one just because Mr. Satan is the GOAT. Forget what you heard about Vegeta. When it comes to, so this, like I said, this is actually going to come down to like cooking skill at this point now because the income levels have sort of evened out a bit. I think Satan wins in taste. I think Satan loses in plating, but I think he wins in creativity.
Ooh.
So I'm going to be moving Mr. Satan on. I think that was a pretty easy one once we got rid of the money factor.
I might have flopped the creativity versus plating. I might have said Bulma maybe wins creativity and Satan wins plating. He's the showman.
All right, that's fair. I could give you that. But it's the same outcome either way.
Yes. Yes. And then I have Chi-Chi versus Videl in Battle Chili's. Now, who do I want to win this? This is tough because Chi-Chi is like, I think a little unfairly maligned. And I think a lot of that comes from the anime. I think she's not used as often in the manga, I don't believe. And so like a lot of the like her being like so overbearing comes from not the stuff that it's filler basically, right?
Yeah, I get you.
And I also think like to a point it's actually kind of amusing. Like, no, I don't care about the world. I want my son to get a good education. Like that's kind of funny. And Videl is just she's gotten less interesting over time.
Yeah.
And you wonder if she's kind of run her course. Whereas I think Chi-Chi actually maintains a level of interest sometimes in things like wondering if Goku still likes her or if her sons still care for her as they're growing and getting wives of their own. Chi-Chi kind of maintains some depth to her character, so I think I kind of want Chi-Chi to win.
It's almost like making characters with some flaws makes them more interesting.
Yeah. And then who do I think would win? I think like maybe she's not going to win on plating, Chi-Chi, because Videl's been around more refined foods. But I think Chi-Chi's probably a better cook. I think also she's creative. I think she's had to make a lot out of a little throughout the entirety of her life. Goku does not bring home a lot of money. That is said very often. And she has had to stretch small budgets very far. And so I think Chi-Chi wins on creativity. I want her to win. I think she wins on taste. I'm going to give this to Chi-Chi and move Chi-Chi on to the humans, to the Elite Eight, to the human semifinal.
Nice.
And then we slide over to the antagonists, where we have Frieza versus Zamasu and Buu versus Cell. And in round one, I have Frieza versus Zamasu, and the battle is ribeye.
Ooh.
So
getting fancy.
Yes. Who do I want to win? I want Frieza to win. I would prefer Frieza one. I find him... He's a character I used to not really like as much, but like the more he's around, the more I find him interesting and like funny. I think I've said multiple times on this show, like I love that when he kills Paragus and he's like, "Look what happened to your father."
It gives kind of like a Joker vibe a little bit.
Yes. So I kind of want Frieza to win. I'll say I want Frieza to win. Who would win? Zamasu's going to win on flavor, I think, again. I think he's also going to take it on plating. And I think maybe Frieza wins on creativity. Although Zamasu is... no, Frieza taking on creativity. So I got to go to the palette, and I can't see a way through the palette thing for... Like, Frieza's palette is more violent. It's more... It's a little nastier. And so I think Zamasu is a little more refined. And I think Zamasu takes this.
Ooh, Dark Horse. All right, that brings us to Majin Buu versus Cell. What do we got for an ingredient?
You have battle apples.
Oh, it's not candy, so this might be a problem for Majin Buu.
But it pairs well with candy.
It does pair well with and peanut butter. Who do I want to win? I want Majin Buu to win. Who would win? I think Majin Buu still wins on taste, but I think Cell wins on plating, and I think he takes it on creativity too. So now we come down to a refined palate. I'm gonna say Majin Buu has the more refined palate, and so Majin Buu will move on.
Okay. Okay, and then we are moving to... Is it the Saiyans now? Or no?
That is the gods / allies.
Gods / allies, yes.
So we have left, looks like Beerus versus King Kai and Puar versus Jocko.
Yes.
So our first match is Beerus versus King Kai. What's their ingredient?
Parmesan cheese.
Parmesan cheese. All right. Who do I want to win? Ooh, that's a tough one. I like both these characters. We'll come back to that. Who do I think would win? I think, again, we've kind of hit this point where breadth of experience is no longer a factor because they've both been around an inordinate amount of time. However, I think Beerus has gotten around a little bit more, but I've never actually seen him cook. So while I think he might have a more refined palate, I don't know if he could recreate those things. So I'm going to give a taste to King Kai. Okay. Plating, I'm going to give to Beerus. Again, I think he's just seen too many things. But when it comes to creativity, I feel like King Kai could pull something out. I feel like he could surprise us with something. Maybe a tuna piano or something like that. That's going to bring us to... Oh no, we don't even have to go to the tiebreaker. Yeah, that'll be King Kai for the win there.
That's a bracket buster for me.
Oof.
In that I had Beerus winning the deities thing.
Oof. Sorry. Not sorry.
So, that's one of my final four gone. So I have Puar versus Jocko in Battle Halibut. So, see, originally I had Jocko versus Kibito, so I have to... Hang on. So, but I have Puar versus Jocko in Battle Halibut. Who do I want to win? I've heard Jacko's a great character, like if you read the Galactic Patrolman manga, but I've never read that. And so I kind of think it'd be funny if Puar kept winning. And then who would win? I think, again, I'm going to give this to Puar on just being around Earth. I think he's going to have a better understanding of, like, how to put dishes together so that they taste good, so that they look good. Give him the creativity thing again on being a shapeshifter and all that. So I'm going to move Puar on.
All right. Good job, Puar.
I had Jocko beating Kibito, just for the record, because of, again, Kibito being, like, from the Kai planet and Jocko having been around Earth. So,
okay. That's fair.
But then I talked myself out of Kibito.
You did this to yourself.
Yes. So we're over to the Saiyan bracket where we have Tarble versus Trunks and Gohan versus Vegeta. That's been like a recurring thing, I feel. We've had Gohan versus Vegeta pretty often.
Yeah.
But so we've got Tarble versus Trunks in Battle Carrots. Okay, who do I want to win? Let's go Tarble. Let's go this character that I don't really know. And then who would win? Well, it's Battle Carrots. And I think that's going to be a problem for Trunks. I think he's a kid. He is not going to even want to make a dish with carrots.
He doesn't like his vegetables, yeah.
Which might make him more creative than Tarble. Because he'll try to figure out ways to not taste the carrots. But then that's going to ding him on taste. He's not going to have... People are going to be like, I don't taste carrots in this. And he's going to be like, haha, see? So...
That does seem like something he would do.
So he'll win on creativity, but lose on flavor. And then he will... I think Tarble strikes me as being just better on the plating side. And so I've got Tarble winning, I think, 3 out of the 4 possible things. So I'm moving Tarble on to the Elite 8.
Fantastic. That leaves me with Gohan versus Vegeta. Who do I want to win? Gohan, just because I know it crushes Jelly's spirit. Who would win?
This is battle milk and cream, by the way.
Oh, okay. Who do I think would win this? I think Gohan wins on taste. As we've said, there's been actual evidence of Vegeta trying to cook and failing miserably. I think plating goes to Vegeta due to his royal upbringing and also being married to one of the richest people on the planet. As far as creativity, I think I'm going to have to give it to Gohan for creativity, mostly because the only thing Vegeta knows how to do is chase Goku. So I think I'm going to move Gohan on.
Okay.
Too many goes.
I had that as well. Now we've got the final of our humans bracket. We've got Mr. Satan versus Chi-Chi in Battle Rabbit.
You know the right answer for this one.
I want Mr. Satan to win. Let's put that right out there. I absolutely want him to win. Now, who's going to win on who would win? Mr. Satan's going to take it on plating. He's the showman. He understands what things... Not just what looks good, but what people want to see on what looks good. But does Chi-Chi take it on taste and creativity again? Because we've seen her cook. And we know that she does so with less of a budget. Or does Satan take it on creativity? I'm very torn on that.
This is probably the closest match of this entire thing, in all honesty.
There's a part of me that says that this right here might be the championship, in a way.
Yeah.
Does Satan take it on creativity because he has been pulling the wool over everyone's eyes for years into thinking he's the strong? I'm giving it to Mr. Satan.
Oof. Well, that's a bracket buster for me.
Me too, by the way. I had Chi-Chi going to the championship.
The lesson here, folks, is take more than 5 minutes to fill out your bracket, please.
I just kind of talked myself into it, right? Just barely. Just barely. That's a hell of a matchup, though.
Yeah, that honestly could go either way.
And then I think also, frankly, if I gave it to Chi-Chi on the creativity, it would go over to our tiebreaker, and that's where I think I would kick it over to Satan again. Because I think he's probably got a more refined palate. Or does he not?
I don't know. Chi-Chi's
a hick.
but she can cook good food, so she knows what tastes good.
Yeah. I think I'm sticking with Satan. Yeah.
There's a statement that needs plenty of context. All right, moving over to the antagonist bracket, we have Zamasu versus Majin Buu. What are they cooking?
This is insane. Battle sugar.
Majin Buu wins. Without even trying. Oh my god, my brackets are absolute garbage now.
Okay. Going down to our allies slash deities bracket. In Battle Elk, I've got King Kai versus Puar. Who do I want to win? I kind of want King Kai to win this one. You know, poor guy has been dead for years and no one will wish him back to life.
His own student blew up his planet. Man needs a win.
And then who would win? Let me give it to King Kai across the board.
All right.
I think for sure he's gonna take it on plating. Oh no. I'll say that's where Puar gets a win. I think King Kai will take taste and creativity. Puar get a win on plating, which I think still moves King Kai on, but King Kai thinks he knows what looks good because he thinks like he thinks he has this great sense of humor.
That's true.
But he doesn't. So, but I'll still move King Kai on to the next round.
All right. On to the Saiyan bracket. We've got Tarble versus Gohan. Well, that'd have been funny if it was Vegeta that would have been Tarble versus Vegeta. I didn't even realize that. Oh, well. Who do I want to win?
This is Battle Ham.
Battle Ham. Okay. Yeah. So, who do I want to win? I want Gohan to win. Tarble's just I don't know if he's got the chutzpah to really get it done. As far as taste, again, I think as far as the Saiyans are concerned, Gohan's going to win on taste. I think he'll probably lose on plating just because Tarble's probably seen some weird alien stuff before. As far as creativity, though, I still get the feeling that Gohan is somehow better educated than Tarble. He's probably got a nice knowledge of like things that work well together. And yeah, I think Gohan's just going to take it.
Okay. Which then you get, I think, Satan versus King Kai.
Ooh, Satan.
In
God versus Satan.
in Battle Ginger. Or not, I'm sorry, Battle Spinach. The battle is Spinach.
Oh, where's Popeye when you need him?
Mm.
Okay. This is a tough one. We're going to skip over who I want to win right now because it's just that's too close to mull over right now.
Okay.
Who wins on taste? I think Satan takes taste. I think it's in him to make something positively sinful.
We're going there.
Oh, we're going there. Who wins on plating? I think, again, Satan wins on plating. He knows how to make food look sexy. Who wins on creativity? I think, again, like you said, I think King Kai thinks he's creative, but I don't think he's actually as creative as he thinks he is. Mr. Satan's been around the block a few times. Yeah, I think Satan's going to win on who would win. Who I want to win, it's kind of a toss-up, so I'll just go to who's got the better developed palate. And I think that's, again, going to be Mr. Satan for the win.
Mr. Satan!
Hail Satan.
All right. I then have Gohan versus Boo in Battle Ginger. Who I want to win? I'm going to say Boo. I like Majin Buu. I think he's great, and I think Gohan has he. See, it's weird because I almost would have said he's completely outlived his usefulness, except I think the superhero movie was good.
It was.
But was that mostly good because it was a lot of Piccolo?
Ooh, that's a fair point. Mostly Piccolo and a little bit of Pan.
But if you ask me, which character would I want to see again and like see more of, it's actually probably Majin Buu. So I'm going to go with I want Majin Buu. Now, who would win? Okay. Taste. I think this gets to the Saiyans thing. They don't know what tastes good, necessarily.
Yeah.
Just because you can read about it in a book, Gohan, doesn't mean you can recreate it. So I'm going to give Buu the edge on taste. Plating, I'm going to give to Gohan. This is, again, I think Buu just isn't super interested in plating. We're going to go to creativity. And I think Majin Buu. I think he's outside the box thinker. He's going to do something with his magical powers to create something that everyone is like, how did you even do that?
I could see it.
And the answer is going to be magic, but he'll just be like, hee hee hee. So I'm moving Majin Buu onto the championship.
All right. I think for this last one, I think since I picked Mr. Satan to go to the final and you picked Buu to go to the final, maybe we just make our cases for our selected character to start.
Okay.
And then we do a decision?
Oh, okay. Like you make your case for your character?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that'd be fun. You can go first if you want.
All right, Majin Buu. Oh, and part of me wants to be like, what was the very last battle they ever did on Iron Chef? Let's see. Oh, well, we already did Crab. These are like, they're bad. They're like, they must have run out of ideas because they're like Thanksgiving, and like that's not an ingredient.
Yeah, not really.
Subculture cuisine. That is not an ingredient. Oh, okay, fine. I got an ingredient finally. It's almonds.
Oh.
Okay. So, why should you want Majin Buu to win? Because Majin Buu is hilarious. Majin Buu is he's got so much potential. And there's so much you could do with him. This is why this is a reason that people constantly talk about what would Majin Buu do if he was in the Tournament of Power? What would Majin Buu do if they called on him to help fight Zamasu? Because not only is he powerful, but because he's like a goofy baby kind of gag character, it's that combination of he could do something really awesome with his powers, or he could do nothing and like take a nap and fall asleep. So, we've talked about like, if he was in the Tournament of Power, I think they would have just written him off by having him jump off the side of the thing by himself like a dummy. So I think he's just a bountiful, interesting character. Why would he win? Well, we talked about he can use his magic to make pretty much anything taste good. So he can take these almonds and he'll never get into a time crunch. He's never going to miss something being on the plate because of a time crunch. Because if it gets down to it and he doesn't have the time to like peel those almonds or smash them or shuck them or roast them properly or season them, he'll use his magic to do it for him and it'll be done instantaneously. That's why he would win. And then also, I think the other thing about Majin Buu to not forget is that he is able to learn a lot of the Z Fighters techniques, actually. And he is able to see something and incorporate it easily. So he's a fast learner. As dumb as he seems to be on the outside, he learns very quickly, and he is now in his, what is this, his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, sixth battle within this tournament. He is becoming more and more proficient of a chef every single battle.
Okay. So why do you want Mr. Satan to win? Because he's the people's champion, of course. He saved the world. And on top of that, he's just a wonderful person inside and out. What's not to love about Mr. Satan? As for in the kitchen, well, he's already proved himself against the likes of Chi-Chi. Now, you're right. Majin Buu might be able to learn quickly, but who's he been cooking against? A bunch of off-world people that don't even really understand cooking in the first place. So what's he actually learned? Not much. Mr. Satan, on the other hand, has practiced his skills in the kitchen, just like he practices building up his strength in the gym. This is a man of discipline. He's practiced this many times. You know he's going to get his flavors right. On top of that, he actually cares about how he presents his food, unlike Majin Buu, who's constantly lost in the plating category all throughout his run. Will he completely win in creativity? Well, Buu might have an edge there. He does have magic on his side. I'll give him that. But really, that's kind of cheating when you think about it. So, I mean, let's make the smart decision. Let's pick Mr. Satan, who has real, honest talent, and who we know is just a good person.
Okay. It's funny because you're doing the hard pitch for Mr. Satan, but the reality is, at the end of the day, he does get revealed to be an actual good person. It's
true.
Mr. Satan is sort of it's not exactly identical. I think I've made this comparison before though, where he's in a way he's like the Gollum of the Dragon Ball world, where it's this character that nobody in the story likes at all. Mm-hmm. And the only reason he's allowed to hang around and not been killed already is because the main character feels bad for him and can't just sit by and watch someone else kill him. At the end of the day, then, that one moment of pity is what ends up saving the entire universe.
True.
And so it goes with Gollum. It goes very differently with Gollum.
Very differently.
But the idea of this one moment of, no, we can't kill him just because we don't like him, ends up saving the universe. Now, as much as I made a good case for Boo, and I almost started talking myself into it too, with the whole, he learns as he goes along. Do you know what I think would happen in this?
What's that?
Majin Buu and Mr. Satan are best friends.
It's true.
They are the ultimate hetero life partners. And
excellent reference.
And as we see at the end of Dragon Ball Z, what happens every single tournament after the Buu saga is Majin Buu takes out the competition and then lets Mr. Satan beat him in the championship.
It's true.
What's going to happen here? Majin Buu took out the competition and he is going to let Mr. Satan
have the championship.
Be the champion.
Mr. Satan for the win.
You think so too? For real?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Mr. Satan, not only the world martial arts champion, but the world cooking champion also.
Hail Satan.
It was about time, because he got done a little dirty in the basketball. I forget exactly how that went. Didn't he get I remember that was the year that we said, oh, Android 18 will let him win the same way she did previously, but then I think we had him lose the very next round. We were like, Android 17 is not going to be that nice.
Yeah. Android 17 would be like, you already paid my sister? Cool, now I'm taking you out.
And this is why we don't change the bracket up a ton, and why we don't change the seedings, is because we have very different outcomes. We've had extremely different outcomes in all three of our tournaments. We had Future Trunks won the first one. Did Pilaf win the Halo tournament?
I think it was Kid Trunks that won that one.
I
could be wrong.
It was
one of those two, though.
It was one of those two. And then Mr. Satan wins and the Final Fours have been fairly different too. I think Gohan was in the Final Four. No, Kid Trunks. So yeah, the Final Fours have all been super different. The winners have been different. Like we get such crazy different matchups.
Indeed.
So until we run out of competitions to put these people against each other in, or we start getting a little bit deeper in our analysis and we maybe find some characters that could replace like the Gregorys and the Kibitos, who we don't have a ton to say about, we're going to stick with this bracket, I think.
Yeah, it's been working pretty well so far. This is probably my favorite thing that we do every year. This is just pure ad hoc silliness, and I enjoy every minute of it.
And it's funny because it's like, you know, everyone's arguing about who would right now. Everyone's arguing about who would win in a fight, Beast Gohan or Ultra Instinct Goku, and we're like, who? But who would win if they had to cook against each other?
Makes for a much more interesting conversation. At least I hope.
So that's our third annual. This is year 3. Our third annual Tenkaichi tournament. So we are, in the future, you'll be looking forward to hearing more about the Piccolo Daimyo arc and how that wraps up. And then we will get into the Piccolo Jr. arc, and we will then have our usual October somethingness. We haven't decided that at all yet. And we got some more creative spotlights that we've decided on. And like I mentioned, we're probably going to take another look at like video games. And so we've got a full 2024 planned pretty well for everyone. So and keep coming along with us. And let's have some fun learning and talking about Dragon Ball.
2 thumbs up
to our podcast. You are giving us 2 thumbs up.
I know it's a little egocentric, but yeah, 2 thumbs up. We got folks. We got a good schedule. We got good material to talk about. We have my terrible jokes. You just can't lose with this combination. I'm looking
over more ingredients that they've done on Iron Chef. We didn't.
What's the weirdest one you've seen so far?
I mean, there's a whole bunch of like weird fish that I've never heard of. Here's one that seems weird, although I don't know if it's different than what I'm thinking of. Chum salmon? Is that like chum meat?
I hope not.
Right above that is hot dogs.
Oh, that would have been a fun one to watch.
Fruitcake. So mortadella.
Yeah, some of these would be weird, especially because, like you said, they have like a mandatory dessert dish they've got to do.
Yeah. Scotch.
That'd be tough. Okay. Just give me the bottle. We're good to go.
So that's a tough one to like. You're supposed to highlight the ingredient. PB&J.
Oh.
That'd be a fun one. That's one of those ones, it's not a weird ingredient in it. You could do so much with peanut butter and jelly. You really could.
But it's also at the same time, that combination of flavors, it's how do you not make it taste like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich?
I think it'd be fairly easy to do on the entree, right? You do like some sort of a jam jelly like glaze and like a peanut butter rub or whatever. Like
I was thinking like a peanut sauce for something maybe with some kind of jellied something. I'm not sure what though.
These episodes don't have, like, I can't, like, click on just what I'm looking at. I can't, like, click on it and be like, oh, they made this and this and this. It just says what the ingredient was.
Yeah, that's all right.
So, well, that's all I have for our Tenkaichi tournament. I think we're good, right?
Yeah, I've got nothing more to add. My boy came out on top. That's all I care about.
And I didn't even have him. I originally had Boo winning the whole thing because I had Chi-Chi winning the human bracket.
I did as well, and then somebody decided to talk themselves out of it.
So I didn't do terrible on this one though. In terms of our predictions thus far, I did the worst on the basketball, the best on the Halo, and then the middle on this.
Oh yeah, my bracket was a mess this time around.
Mine was in the middle. I had a few people from the Final Four. I had the top part of the bracket right.
The only one I had right for Final Four was King Kai.
I had Gohan and Boo. Who'd you have for the Saiyans?
I had Gohan. That's right.
Okay.
I had Gohan and Hit.
Okay. Oh, you were going
Chi-Chi versus King Kai.
You were going with the time stuff, right?
Yeah, I was looking at the time because he's got plenty of time to do whatever he needs to do.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, that doesn't help you understand what the stuff tastes like.
Yeah, it's a little bit of an oversight, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, I had Beerus win in the deities one, so, and that was one of those I didn't think about it. I just was like, he's always eating, so okay.
Yeah, I could see how that would happen.
What will we decide to pit our opponents against each other in next year? Who will win our 4th annual Tenkaichi tournament? Find out next year and help us achieve our final forum.
# Team Gregory.
We'll do a who would win in a grass eating contest.
Yeah.
Final Form is written and produced by Tom Gwelly. It is performed by Dan Kinney and Tom Gwelly. Our webmaster is Dan Kinney. Our theme music is provided by YouTube content creator GVG Kit. Want to learn more about the Dragon Ball universe, including concept art, behind-the-scenes interviews, and recommendations from Jelli and Bekinney? Connect with us on social media. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at Final Forum Pod. Make sure to subscribe, rate, and review wherever you receive your podcasts. And of course, make sure to share it with your friends and family and help us spread the word of the glory of Lord Frieza. The Frieza Force thanks you for your listenership.